This is ABC15 Mornings.
Right now at 6, the fight over coronavirus relief could lead to a number of issues starting as soon as tomorrow. What's at stake for millions of Americans struggling to make it through 2020 financially?
And in Nashville this morning, federal agents, they are focused on a possible suspect in that Christmas Day bombing.
And speak up, stand up. It's been an overwhelming year for students and educators. Now a local event is encouraging people impacted to share their experiences. It's all about helping families rebound. And on that note, we say good Sunday morning to you. 6 o'clock now. Thanks for waking up to ABC 15 Mornings. I'm Nick Saletti in for Nohe today.
And I'm Mark Thompson, keeping my social distance. Nick, great to have you in again this morning. A beautiful day yesterday. I got a chance to get outside and get a walk in. I've got some plans to do the same today before maybe some rain in our future.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. A beautiful day, I think, again in store for today. But make sure you get out and enjoy it because things will be changing over the next few days. Let's get into it right now and show you what's happening with your most accurate forecast. Waking up kind of chilly this morning, I have to say, so I bet your heater is kicking on. Maybe you have an extra blanket over the bed. Maybe the dog's in the bed kind of warming you up. I know that's how it is in my house. People waking up in the 30s right now. We have 40 right now in Surprise, 43 in Goodyear, 38 in Laveen. We're at 50 in Fountain Hills and 48 in Apache Junction this morning, as well as 38 down in Maricopa. Let's talk about your Valley Planner for today, though, because we will see a nice warm up. 55 by 10 o'clock this morning, 63 by noon, and then we'll be in the 70s by 2 o'clock, reaching our high of about 72 degrees somewhere around 3 o'clock. And then we're going to stay in the low 70s, upper 60s, I think, for much of the afternoon into the early evening. But like I said, enjoy it because we are going to start to see some rain, snow in the high country and much colder temperatures. Behind all of this, we'll let you know how low that mercury is going to dip coming up for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Nick, thank you. And we're going to start this morning with some local headlines. Several people hurt after a crash near 43rd Avenue in Peoria last night. Police say that 2 kids and 2 adults are critically hurt. One other child also has some serious injuries. It's unclear what led up to that crash at this time. And Phoenix police, they're still searching for the shooter this morning that they think is responsible for the death of a teenager. The body of Tyler Cardiel was found early Christmas morning near 83rd Avenue and Glen Rosa. Investigators are searching for any information that could lead them to a suspect.
Meantime, a 2-year-old boy is in the hospital this morning after being pulled from a backyard pool. The Phoenix Fire Department says that when they got to this home near 43rd Avenue in Happy Valley, his parents were already performing CPR. He was taken in an ambulance in critical condition. And the suspect in a deadly hit-and-run crash has turned himself in. A woman was killed near Thomas and 32nd Street yesterday. Phoenix police say the driver took off, but later called police and went to the police station. They arrested 35-year-old Sergio Nareja for leaving the scene of a deadly crash.
And it was a Christmas Eve tragedy, fire just ripping through a home near 15th Avenue and Buckeye. ABC 15's Adam Waltz with more this morning on how a family is now trying to rebuild their lives.
A devastating house fire on Christmas Eve. This is what's left after a fire in South Phoenix, taking everything from this family except their lives.
A family in tears, looking over all they've lost.
I'm just glad I'm alive.
What started Christmas Eve morning, the Menjivars decided to open Christmas presents a day early on Christmas Eve. Less than 30 minutes later, their lives destroyed by a candle.
The spark of the candle had gotten little spots and it just engulfed. I had no chance.
The family now in survival mode.
The fire was inside the house, swirling all over, like we were in hell. And I just prayed and said, God, get me out. But that fire didn't touch us.
Teresa and her daughter Denise, who has Down syndrome, able to escape after being blocked in the hallway. The father broke a window with his head to get out of the bedroom.
I feel sad. We lost our house, and Jesus always with us.
Firefighters cutting into the roof to alleviate the flames, but by then, everything was lost.
This is my purse in my bedroom that was on my dresser. Nothing.
Teresa is living with her other daughter and has set up a GoFundMe, her only outlet for help.
Feels like death. I just ask whoever can give me a quarter. I don't care because I have nothing. I have nothing for my daughter.
The landlord has been very generous, not taking any more rent payments from Teresa, even offering for her and her family to move back in once it's remodeled. Teresa said she is moving on from this house completely. In Phoenix, Adam Waltz, ABC15 Arizona.
And if you would like to help out this family, we have a link to their GoFundMe page in this story on ABC15.com.
Let's get to some big national headlines this morning. 3 people killed, another 3 injured after a shooting at a bowling alley in Rockford, Illinois. A person of interest is now in police custody.
We're doing the best we can. We'll try and get you as much information as we can when we get it. I do know that there are teenagers, 2 teenagers that have been shot, but I don't know the ages.
That person of interest, a 37-year-old man who is believed to be the only person involved. Crews are still working to piece together all the events of last night. Investigators are searching for a suspect and a motive in that Christmas Day bombing in Nashville. First responders and 6 police officers also being hailed as heroes this morning after rushing in to evacuate this area. ABC's Christine Sloan has the latest developments.
This morning, federal agents are focusing on a possible suspect in the Nashville bombing on Christmas Day. Hundreds of investigators on the scene of this home in a suburb outside of Nashville. It once belonged to Anthony Quinn Warner. ABC News has learned through court records that he once owned and lived at the home being searched, but recently transferred the deed to a woman in California. A Google Map image of the home from May 2019 appearing to show an RV that's similar to the one used in the explosion.
The RV's been there for a while. It doesn't really move. It just stays there. So this was something that just looked suspicious, that it wasn't there anymore.
Investigators are trying to identify the human remains found at the scene.
Stay back till we figure out what's going on.
Our investigative team is turning over every stone to make sure we know as many details as possible to answer the question of who is responsible for this, and also to understand why did they do this.
Investigators say just after 1 a.m., this RV was seen parked outside the AT&T building. Hours later, police responded to a call of shots fired. When they approached the RV, they could hear a recording coming from the vehicle, warning people nearby to evacuate.
If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
The explosion left a field of debris stretching for several blocks. Windows shattered, buildings damaged. The police chief asking business owners and residents to be patient.
There's about 40 buildings that's been impacted. And so those buildings will have to be cleared through our codes.
Buck McCoy was in his bed when his apartment building shook.
Cars were on fire, the trees were all out on the street, all the windows were broken, there was debris all up and down the street. You're in a daze, you know, and you can't believe what you are seeing in front of you.
It is still unclear whether AT&T was the intended target, but according to a federal bulletin obtained by ABC News, police around the country have been asked to increase patrols around AT&T facilities as a precaution. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
Now to the grim coronavirus numbers across the nation. 1 in 1,000 Americans has now died from COVID-19. That's based on data from the U.S. Census Bureau and Johns Hopkins University. The first reported case of COVID-19 was in January of 2020, and the first death was the following month. Now the U.S. has more than 18 million cases and more than 330,000 deaths.
As of this weekend, nearly 2 million coronavirus vaccines have already been administered. That's according to new data from the CDC. Officials also say more than 9.5 million vaccines have been distributed. The totals include both Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Officials say the number of people who have received their first shots is likely higher.
And the battle over coronavirus relief could lead to a very turbulent week for Americans. Just a real stalemate here. The federal bonus for unemployment benefits officially ending yesterday, and if President Trump does not sign the coronavirus relief bill soon, on Monday, the government could begin to shut down. And on January 1st, eviction protections, they will end for millions of Americans who have not been able to pay their rent due to COVID-19. The main sticking point here, again, how many how much money Americans should get from the government. President Trump, he wants lawmakers to increase that amount of the one-time stimulus check from $600 to $2,000. Democrats, they're on board with this, but congressional Republicans have rejected efforts to change the bill. This is a huge story, of course, and one that we're going to be following closely coming up this week.
All right, let's talk about that most accurate forecast for you as we head into the rest of your Sunday. A little chilly this morning. Temperatures are going to stay in the 40s, I think, for at least the next few hours. I know it feels a little cold, but that is about where we should be for this time of year. And don't worry, there is a payoff because it is going to warm up awfully nicely later on today. We'll get to that in just a second. In the meantime, I want to talk about this. If you're going to wash your car, today's a great day to do it. Monday, you can maybe take your chances. I'll give it a 50-50. Tuesday, though, not a good day to wash your car because that's when we expect the bulk of this rain to arrive here in the valley. I'm going to time it out for you, plus let you know exactly how much we could be getting coming up in your most accurate 7-day forecast.
All right, Nick, thank you. It is 6:11 now and still ahead. Your voice, your vote. All eyes now on Georgia as they gear up for that Senate runoff in the new year. We'll hear from some early voters. But next, an upcoming event is helping families check in with one another during these turbulent times after a year of ups and downs. Welcome back, everybody. And if you've got kids, you know that education this year has been changing by the minute. And all of that change has really been weighing heavily on the minds of students, parents, and educators. And this morning, we're focusing on an annual event that is a little bit different this year, but it's also helping families rebound. ABC 15's Danielle Lerner has more.
This is what the Speak, Stand, Save conference usually looks like. Thousands of students, teachers, and members of the community packing the GCU campus, tackling tough topics like depression, suicide, grief, abuse, and bullying.
We need to make our voices heard to end this vicious cycle and help those come forward to get the assistance they need.
Grace Martinez is a student ambassador with the group behind the conference, Speak Up, Stand Up, Save a Life. She was bullied throughout elementary school and turned to cutting herself to cope. She credits a middle school friend with noticing her dangerous behavior and telling a trusted adult, a step that kickstarted Martinez's recovery.
They know where I'm coming from and I know where they're coming from, so we kind of help each other.
Now in its 5th year, the free day-long event will continue in 2021 in a virtual format. Not ideal, but more needed than ever.
All these mental health issues are enhanced. There's been a lot of pressure, a lot of stress on staff members and kids and families as well.
Dr. Lily DeBlue is co-founder of Speak Up, Stand Up, Save a Life and superintendent of the Pendergast School District. She says moving the conference online expands access for K-12 students and teachers across our state, with breakout rooms and an age-appropriate curriculum for each grade level.
What the students need is for us to listen, to know that we're there for them. Yes, we want you to learn, but we want your heart to feel better first.
For Grace and her dad, Johnny, this next conference will be a family affair, reminding students and parents they're not alone.
We are so used to, being out with our friends and going out and do different things that help us feel alive and feel, connected. But we can't do that right now because of the pandemic.
To encourage parents to seek out that type of help. And then the other part of it was to let parents know that, it is okay for your kids not to be okay.
I'm Danielle Lerner, ABC 15, Arizona.
And that conference is coming up on January 19th. There is still time to register, and we've put a link to information in the story at abc15.com. And while you're there, you can also catch more stories that are focused on managing the pandemic and the pressures that come along with it. There's information on outreach programs and many other topics, and you can find that at any time with the ABC 15 app on popular streaming devices.
Yeah, and I think it just starts with a conversation a lot of times. You never know where it could lead, and it could even save a life in some cases. Wonderful story there. We thank Danielle for that. Hey, let's talk about your most accurate forecast this morning. proof's in the pudding this morning. We're waking up chilly, but I promise you there's going to be a payoff. It is going to warm up nicely today. 41 currently in Scottsdale. We're at 44 in Tempe, 46 in Mesa, 30s in Gilbert and Chandler, 38 in Maricopa, and 43 in Goodyear right now. Across the state, also a little bit of a chilly morning. We're at 30 in Page, 25 at the Grand Canyon, 19 degrees, the cool spot on the map in Heber, 32 in Show Low, and 34 degrees in Safford. Here's your valley planner for today, though. I think we're going to hang out in the 40s, at least for the next few hours. But then by 10 o'clock, I think we'll be in the 50s, 63 at noon, 70s by 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock today, we should reach our high of about 72. After that, we're going to stay in the upper 60s, I think, for really much of the afternoon and evening. So this is going to be a really nice day, I think, and we will have some more cloud coverage today. So that's actually going to help us insulate it, kind of like a blanket, and should keep those temperatures intact for us. So I think it is going to be another beautiful day, just not as sunny as what we saw yesterday. Currently, clouds and radar showing not really a whole lot going on here. Picking up maybe some very, very light snow up to the north of us, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet. Over the next 24, 48 hours, not going to be so quiet anymore. Here's a look at what we're expecting and tracking for you right now with Futurecast. We see the system hanging off the coast here, kind of hugging the coastline of California. What's going to happen is it's going to continue to move on eastward into Arizona over the next 24 hours. Starting tomorrow, we're going to see higher winds. We're going to see more cloud coverage. Even Monday night, we could start to see some snow to the north of us and also some rain in the Phoenix metro. But I think the best chance for that rain and snow is going to be overnight into Tuesday morning. Tuesday rush hour could be a little bit dicey too. Just something to keep in mind. And if you're traveling up to the high country, the National Weather Service has recommended you go today because Monday and Tuesday, like I said, it's looking a little bit choppy there. And then after that, we're going to see some nice clearing, but we have to get through Monday and Tuesday first. So here's a quick look at what we can expect. Showers possible Monday night into Tuesday. Not going to be a big rainmaker, though. I think we'll see about 1/10 of an inch in the valley. Could see more to places to the north of the valley and also east, like Globe. Now, snow is going to be down to 4,000 feet will be the snow level. 1 to 4 inches possible, I think, above 5,500 feet. And then again, we'll see those wind gusts kick in 25 miles per hour in the valley and 45 miles per hour in places to the north of us. So places like Flagstaff, Sedona, you could really see those stronger wind gusts here. Again, rain chances, I think we'll see about 1/10 of an inch or so in the valley, up to 1/4 of an inch near Payson, and maybe up to 1/2 an inch in Globe. So not a huge rain-making event, but we will definitely take what we can get because we are still in a drought across the state. Highs today, 72 in Tempe, 73 in Mesa, 69 in Cave Creek, 69 in Wickenburg, and 73 degrees in Maricopa. Across the state we go now, 75 in Gila Bend, 65 at Lake Havasu, 44 at the Grand Canyon, 56 in Kingman, and we'll see 54 degrees today in Heber. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast for you. Again, 72 is going to be today's high. Awfully nice cloud coverage, especially later on today. We'll see 66 degrees for your Monday. We'll give it a 10% chance of showers. Better chance will be in the afternoon, evening hours. And then Tuesday, the bulk of that system should be here. I'm thinking it could be a little bit of a wet commute. 58 degrees, so we will see a big cool down, and 59 on Wednesday as we clear out. And then as we ring in the new year, 60 on Thursday, 61 on Friday. We'll stay in the low 60s for the first weekend of 2021.
Nick, thank you. 6:20 now on your Sunday morning. Up next, an important reminder when it comes to getting rid of all of that Christmas packaging. Also, why you should think twice before signing up for a credit card from your favorite store. All that straight ahead. And we've got a safety alert from Goodyear Police today. They say if Santa brought you a big ticket item like, say, a PlayStation 5 or a new computer, make sure that you break down that box and put it in your garbage or recycling bin because you don't want to leave that box sitting curbside for the garbage men to pick up, because that could be an open invitation for thieves if they know what you've got in your house. And we all try our best, but sometimes, you know, our loved ones, they get us a gift that maybe doesn't fit quite right, or you just don't like it, don't like the color, size, or just don't like it at all. But that's what returns are for. And this year, there are a lot of stores that are changing their return policy due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And the National Retail Federation, they expect nearly $101 billion worth of gifts will be returned this year. And to make that process easier, companies like Amazon, Target, and Walmart, they're allowing customers to print off shipping labels and drop it off in the mail. Best Buy and Dick's Sporting Goods, they're actually offering curbside drop-off. You just pull up, call the store, and then hand off your receipt.
How convenient. Well, we've all been there at the store. You're getting ready to check out, and then comes the question about if you want to open up a store credit card and save money. But are retail credit cards really worth the money?
They really make it easy.
Stores can tempt us with their credit cards like the Target Red Card.
I don't think it's a responsible thing for me to have one at every store.
If you ever plan on carrying a balance, these cards are not going to be the best option for you.
Ted Rossman is with creditcards.com.
While these store cards can sometimes work for you, most of the time, they're not the most consumer-friendly option.
The average store credit card has an interest rate of 25%. Some can be near 30%.
These cards are not as selective about credit quality, which is why the retailers and their bank partners say they have to charge such high interest rates.
Credit card decisions should be well-researched, thought out before you decide.
Nathan Grant from creditcardinsider.com says do not sign up at the checkout on a whim, even if there's a discount offered.
The percentage of the interest that you're paying might end up calculating to being more than what you got from spending on the card.
Some of the better retailer cards include Amazon Prime cards with lower interest rates, 5% back on Amazon purchases, and gift cards when you sign up. Target has a higher interest rate but gets 5% back. The only one rated excellent is Costco's card. There's various cashback options and good rewards on gas. In a survey of nearly 3,000 shoppers, more than 40% said they regretted signing up for the retail credit card. More than 50% said they've paid interest on a retail store card.
That's kind of like a wake-up call, even to myself, to be like, gotta make sure I'm always, smartly shopping if I'm using credit cards.
There you go. Retail credit cards can give you benefits, especially if you're being loyal to their business. It could help you build credit, but you have to pay off the balance every month, like we said, because they have those high interest rates. Still ahead at 6:30, the pandemic has made it harder for many Arizonans to pay their rent. What could happen to so many families in the valley if a COVID relief package isn't signed?
And it's an emotional holiday for one Phoenix family as they finally welcome home a loved one lost 80 years ago.